Studio 10. Now, it might seem like a risky time to leave a job and start your own business, but entrepreneur Ian Whitworth says now is the time. His new book, Undisruptable, is a blunt guide full of helpful advice to start a thriving business. And Ian joins us right now. Ian, thanks for your time today and your help on this. Why should people who are hesitant about becoming their own boss, why should they bite the bullet and do it?
It's from experience. I've had jobs and I've had my own business, and having your own business is a much nicer life because no matter how hard it gets, you're in control of things. And so now is a really good time because there's a lot of chaos going on. People say, oh, setting up a business is very risky. Your parents and friends tell you not to do it. But the reality in 2022 is that having a job is much more risky than having your own business, because if you displease one person, your boss or your client, that job is over and you've got nothing. With a business, if you've got a few clients, you're in a much safer position.
Ian, starting from scratch is so challenging. Startups thrive, some of them don't. How can you make sure your startup thrives?
The best thing to do is to start a business in what you know. What most people do is they hate their job so much that they go, oh, I dream of setting up a nice little cafe. Every financial planner will tell you that. Every executive's dream is to do that. But what happens is you'll get eaten alive by people who know how to run a cafe. So even if you don't particularly love the area you work in, start in what you know, because you just have this subconscious knowledge of how it works, and most importantly, how to get money through the door, because that's what kills most small businesses.
Great. Ian, you've obviously got loads of great advice, but as an Irishman, I'm not too sure about this one. You say to be wary of men who eat fries for lunch. Why is that?
You have read quite deeply into the book there. There is every book has 10 steps to success. I've put in, there's a chapter there called 7 Steps to No Success, because I've just observed the characteristics of people who never quite get there. And that includes things like people who make New Year's resolutions, people who buy lottery tickets and that sort of stuff. We've noticed that guys, and this is the guy thing, if they eat a half barbecued chicken and fries for lunch every day of their life, you can do that when you're 25. By the time you're 35, you turn into a bit of a wreck of a human being, and it kind of shows that you don't perhaps have the mental discipline to get very far. It's a bit of a joke, but also kind of true.
Gosh, all those tradies having iced coffees and sausage rolls for morning tea. You've just, I think you've just lost some friends there.
At least tradies are moving around and getting some exercise. I'm talking mainly office workers here. Yeah,
OK. Now, what advice do you have for school leavers? They've just had their HSC results come out. Some of them might not be too happy with their Year 12 results. Maybe don't get into the uni course of their dreams. What's your advice for them?
My advice would be to chill. I'm a poster boy for bad education and career choices. I originally trained as a vet for 3 years and was thrown out for being an absolute liability to that profession, and rightly so. I became a funfair carny, cook in a seafood restaurant, cab driver, audiovisual technician, creative director, and ad agency. And many of those things, I hated a lot at the time, but they all gave me the skills to get me where I am now. And we've got a national business in the event industry, and I love my life, but I wouldn't have got here if not for those weird choices. So it's interesting, I've been speaking to a few school leavers who've read the book lately. One of them was a young tradie, actually. He's just started as a carpentry apprentice, and he said, I love being a carpenter, but I want to own the business when I'm in my late 20s. So while all the young guys are all learning about being on the tools and those skills, he said, I'm watching the people who own the business and what they do and analysing that, because I want to do what they do. And so I've loved the response from young people on the book over that kind of thing. I love that they're thinking about these things now. You may not start a business now, but if you think, what would I do if this were my business, no matter what obstacles you face, no matter how many stupid career paths you go down, it all comes back with interest in the end.
Excellent, thanks, Ian. I reckon there's more tradies that drink kombucha and bring their own salads to work now, actually. Ian, thank you so much for joining us. Your book, Undisruptable, is out now. Thank you for for your time.
Nerula, Tristan, great talking to you.
Thanks, Ian. Take care.
Next, and coming up, the BILLYCART builder who's putting a town on wheels.
Yeah, also ahead, the Jackass boys are back. The boys tell Ange about their ball-breaking new project.